Hi, today is another episode of Books Galore and Creator Core. We are back after a long hiatus. I was recovering and I am doing much better. Today is October 5th, 2025, and I would like to welcome back an author that we have had on this platform before, Gen C Plaza.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here again. Thank you for having me.
So, why don't you reintroduce yourself to the audience? Tell us a little bit about the book
Okay.
that you would like to speak about.
Okay. My name is JC Plaza. I write fantasy, romantasy, um, children's, and nonfiction. I'm also a ghostwriter. I do celebrity memoirs. And the book today that I'm going to concentrate on is The Legend of Lake Sangre, Summer's Rain, the first book in the series. Book two is coming out in December. And it's a story about a young woman who finds her heritage in an enchanted cemetery located in upstate New York. She starts out as an angry woman who's dealing with grief and loss and has to come to terms with these emotions while she's forging new friendships because she was pushing people away, and she was practicing um, avoidance and living in solitude. And by the end of the book, there was a great influence by my own father's death. So I rewrote the whole last chapter before it was published, which affected the whole series. And it's a lot of what a lot of people feel when they have situations such as a child passing away, and you lose more than that child. You lose family, you lose friends, lose the life that you had. And it was
Right.
inspired by the loss of my half sister. And I was 17 and she was 8 years old, and it was a freak accident. So there's a lot of truth between the romantasy pages.
Right, right. So when the sort of the era that you wrote the book, could you tell us a little bit more? Is it sort of an alternative timeline, or is it a fantasy world, or is it just, set in modern settings?
It's set in modern settings, but it does take place at a time where cell phones didn't work in upstate New York and Watertown area. Um, and the world is it's magical realism. We have piskies and we have kitsunes. We have a preternatural sanctuary. So that whole world has its own magical system. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So you would say that it's more based on fantasy?
yes.
Okay. So how did you sort of imagine the whole fantasy part of it coming into play? Like what kind of world did you want it to these sort of magical characters to have an effect on the main character?
I wanted her to realize that there is darkness in everyone because she feels that she's dark and she's a monster, because she had these emotions that were very negative and strong, and that you can grow from them, and nobody is just one way. And by having a preternatural sanctuary for creatures that have been in dark lore across the world, which I study cryptozoology and mythology globally, um, she realizes, she has kitsunes, she has vampires, she has loop gurus, she has, cheval moles, which are bad horses in French mythology rather than kelpies. Um, and some of these creatures have been demonized, and they're just like the regulars, which are the humans. They have their good, they have their bad, and you have to look at who they are, their personalities, not deem them a specific way because of their species. So,
Okay. So I'm familiar with vampires. I'm familiar with Lugaroos. I'm familiar with Kelpies. I'm not. I have heard the term kitsune. It sounds Japanese. Can you
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. There is a gender fluid character in the book, and it is a kitsune. And this is also a reverse harem. So, what happens is these creatures devote themselves over the series to her. And the kitsune is one of them. She learns that this is um, when she first meets this character. I don't want to give it away. It is a male, and she's known him and she's hung out with him, and he's a DJ. And
Uh-oh.
then when she meets this same character in its female form, which is more the kitsune form from lore, she finds out that it's kind of an awkward female, very dainty, very proper. They speak differently. Um, and then at the end of the book, the male discloses that it is both the female friend that she's had and this male counterpart who happens to be part of the preternatural regime. And he actually, in book 2, which is coming out, devotes himself to her, and he pledges himself to, you know, be her kind of like a um like her right hand, as I guess is the best to say way to put it, because she doesn't need anybody to protect her, but he wants to. So he's there in the background for this book, but he was really prominent in the second book.
Got you. You know,
Mhm.
now that you're describing it, I remember where I heard that name before, Kitsune. I believe I heard it in an anime,
Mhm.
Fushigi Yugi. In fact, I don't know if you're familiar with anime.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
ever watched Fushigi Yugi?
No, but
No? Okay. Because I
yeah,
was like, wait a minute, I know that. It's the name of a character.
Inuyasha, Inuyasha,
Inuyasha. Okay.
yeah, and what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. But it's Master Tomoe is a major kitsune character who is a warrior, and he was a samurai, and some of his elements come through in my male version of this character.
Got
But
it.
yeah, yeah.
Got it. That's so funny because one of the main characters of Fushigi Yugi was Tamahome, not Tama.
Tomoe.
Okay, so enough of anime. We could go on for days about that, but
Kamasama Kiss. That's what it was. Kamasama Kiss.
Kama-sama Kiss. Oh, I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it. Was
Yeah.
it good?
Yes, very.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
keep it on my list. So, so how much of sort of the anime culture did you bring into your book as a result? Was it just that particular character or?
Yes, that particular character. I actually have an encyclopedia of cryptozoology
Okay,
that I studied a lot of the characters from around the world. We have my version of the crocata, which there's an argument of whether it started in Africa, if it was in the Greek and Roman world, where did it come from? But no
mm,
matter where it came from, it is this creature that is born of a wolf and a dog. And mine is a hybrid that came from a tortured past by the regulars, the humans. And through the series, they earn their freedom by being in the sanctuary under the main character, which, by the way, the main character is Summer Candela. And she herself is not regular. She is a Alfar she hybrid. Uh, her father was from um, In Nordic mythology, you have the Alfar, and then in Celtic mythology, you have the she. So her mother was she, and her father was an elf. So
Ah. So what's the name of your you said cryptozoology book?
yes, it's an encyclopedia. I actually have it.
I need to, if you could, message me the title, I would love to get my own copy.
Yep, this book, it's fabulous. It's called the
Okay.
Mythological Creatures Bible, and it is filled with all kinds of vibrant pictures. This is a dragon from the Welsh
Ah,
mythology. I used that concept to create my dragon because not only is my fairy elf hybrid, Alfarshi Summer Candela, this special creature, she's also the dragon mistress. And he's the last dragon because of an order of genocide that was ordered by the main vampire in the book, Gerard. And
okay.
Gerard actually um, was a knight. So it's kind of historical fiction where we have real history brought in. We have the Code of Chivalry, and we have Gerard, who was part of the Code of Chivalry, who dated Marie in history. And in the book, we see that his ex girlfriend Marie, and he had this love romantic type of relationship that was short lived because he became a vampire and she couldn't accept that. So
Yeah, kind of
yeah,
that whole, accidentally doing away with people puts a damper on things.
yeah.
Just a little
And
bit.
her mother was Eleanor of Aquitaine, who was a real figure in France's history. So yeah,
Wow. Okay, so what would you want your watchers or listeners to know the most about your book? We have people watching on YouTube and Facebook right now.
that it's for everyone. The message in here is love, kindness, and it gets better. You can get through. And asking the tough questions are not forbidden.
Awesome. Hold on, I want to make sure that we call out some of the people who are watching.
Yes.
So Tamika Lachey says hello. Leisha Short also says hello, and we have a few people watching. So, do you want to, is there anything you would like to say just about the writing process or the publishing process or, where your book is available to the people who are watching right now?
Yes. Well, the book is available anywhere online books are sold. Um, I do have some physical stores on the East Coast that have it, but mainly Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart.com, any online bookseller. It's available in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. You can also request it at the library. Let's see. Yeah.
Why don't you show it one more time so that they can see what it looks like? The Legend of Lake Sangre, Summer's Rain.
There's rain.
Beautiful book, beautiful
Thank
cover.
you. Thank you. And you can even see the dragon Peyron, I think, maybe. And he's kind of hard to see. He's in the background. He's in the letters by my finger.
There you go.
And this is a scene from the last few chapters in the book.
So, is the dragon a character in the book?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. He was wrongly accused, and he's the legend of Lake Sangre.
Okay.
So the title is actually The Dragon, not Summer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So the Legend of Lake Sangre is the name of the dragon.
Yep. He is the legend because he was wrongly accused. He was the Red Terror, and Lake Sangre in the moonlight looks like ox blood, and there's this mist that hovers over it, and through the book the main character is drawn to the lake, but her mother never wanted her to go near the water, and she thought it was because her sister drowned, but her sister was actually murdered.
Oh,
And so she goes through this journey learning about her past and defies everyone, goes to the water and starts talking to the mist and realizes that it's the creature of lore. And they have this little back and forth where, I heard that you did this. And he's like, but I didn't do it. You don't know these people. You don't know what they've done. And she takes a chance, and the whole thing comes down on Samhain, and she releases him, and he becomes this enormous oxblood dragon, and they become a pair. And I don't want to give away everything, but he stays with her through the series, and they're bonded in an unbreakable bond. Um, yeah, but his name is Peyron, and he's an
payroll.
oxblood dragon that is huge.
Okay. So we have someone watching on YouTube, Rai Riken, who says, "Can you ask JC Plaza to repeat that, please?" And I was waiting for them to say the part where the drowning and murder happens. Okay.
Okay. The main character's sister is thought to have drowned in upstate New York in Black River. And the opening of the book talks about several deaths. And the main character believes that the sister drowned. As it goes through, she learns that the sister was actually murdered, and it was murdered by the Cheval Malay, and it was supposed to be her. And it's not giving away too much, trust me. And since her sister was killed in her stead, she takes on this role where she wants to vindicate her sister. And she goes to learn about the dragon and the legend, where she finds that the dragon was wrongly accused of murdering thousands of people in the Alfar region of the Tree of Life. And it was genocide that was ordered by the regime, not the dragon. So, which I hope that answers the murder question.
I
There's a bunch
think
of murders.
I think it answers their question.
Okay.
So that sounds it sounds amazing, honestly. Do you have it in audiobook format at all?
I don't, but Kindle will read it.
Kindle will read it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have I want to make sure that when when the interview is over that we get the links and the, everything so that people in the comments can check out the book and pick it up on Amazon. So, is there anything about your next book that you would like to let them know?
Yes. Um, the next book um, continues the epic journey of the main character. She is not in a romance. She is not marrying anybody. It is an epic where it's following her journey, and you're going along. You're learning with her. You're riding on her shoulder. She's talking to you on the couch. Um, and there's going to be more mystery. There are going to be thriller elements, and it gets a little bit more romantic. And by book 3, we're really diving into the romantasy, because
Okay.
because I have people saying, "Oh my gosh, she needs to do this." I'm like, "Yeah, not yet."
So you're really slow dragging it out. It's a slow burn.
Yes, yes,
Honestly, I prefer slow burns. That whole, they fall in love on page 2,
yeah.
it's not realistic to me.
It has spicy elements
Okay.
in situations, adults, mature situations. but it
Okay.
is not at all uh, um, erotic. So even though it's called erotic horror because it has the creatures of lore.
Okay. So you did say that it was a reverse harem. So do we
Yes.
find out in book one which one is the which one is the one?
No, we don't.
Oh. So it's not even slow burn. It's like mystery.
Yes.
So we have to wait until book three to find out. So
Yeah.
which what? So but you said book two is coming out in December.
Yes. And
Okay.
that's called Summer's Plight. I do not have one to show, but that's with the same publisher, Stone Bear
Okay.
Publishing. My publisher and I worked together with my ghostwriting projects. We met through it, and she offered representation for this book. She's an Emmy Award winning graphic designer from when she worked at CBS. So she's very, very good at what she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when will we get a chance to see the cover? I know it's going to be beautiful.
I'm hoping for November it'll be available to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will be awesome. Are you going to have it how do you say pre-ordering available?
Um, I wasn't. I didn't with this one. I kind of just did a launch day and had a big launch party.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we'll just know when it happens. Are you going to let us know ahead of time? Maybe we can
Yes. I
celebrate with you.
yes. I have um an Edge JC Plaza author Facebook page, JC Plaza author Instagram, and JC Plaza author TikTok. Just the J and the C have a period after each on my TikTok.
Got it. Have
And
you given have you given your TikTok link before? I don't recall.
I have. Right
Okay.
now, I'm trying to figure out how to share my book with everyone in the comments section because
Right.
I'm on it on Amazon right now, trying to find the share. I can do it on my phone,
It's easier. Everything's easier on the phone.
right?
It
But
feels like they're trying to make computers obsolete.
yeah, but yes, it is. Um, Here you can go to jcplaza.com.
Okay.
I put that in the web in the chats. It's for sale. If you click on the link there, it goes straight to Amazon.
jcplaza.com.
Yes, that's my website.
Okay.
And then let's see, I have JP for TikTok. I put on here, and yeah, there we go. Instagram and Facebook. So yes, Summer's Plight is is going to be more like relationship building between key characters that were in book one.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
So will there be like so it will be more of an escalation of relationships rather than action or yes?
yes,
So would you say that this first book is action heavy or relationship heavy?
I think it's a good mix of both
Okay.
because the actions build the relationships.
Got it. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So, thank you for coming in. Do you want to read part of it or any part of it? We
Sure.
still have people watching. They might want to hear a small part.
Sure, I can read chapter one.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And okay. Chapter 1, The Legend of Lake Sangre, Summer's Rain. I meandered through the weed-laden gravestones, careful not to step on any graves. My mother always said not to step on them out of respect for the dead. I read a few as I recalled Danny's comment. Ever notice how small the graveyard is for such an old town? She'd said that at Mrs. Green's wake. I didn't go to the funeral. I found my sister's plot and knelt beside the headstone. The decayed leaves burned my throat and nostrils. For 13 years, I avoided her name. I couldn't say it, but there it was. I glanced at the etching. I don't know if you can hear this, sis, but it's me, Summer. I miss you. I sat on the leaf-littered ground and plucked a few blades of ryegrass. Mrs. Green's dead now. Mom and Dad never came home. I sobbed and succumbed to hysterics. I can't accept you're all gone. I should have been there. When the chief said you didn't make it, I huddled into my arms and wept. A deep, sorrow-filled cry, the guttural sobs that rip every ounce of energy and life from within you. I shouldn't have waited 13 years to come, I whispered back to the pink granite heart. For that, too, I'm sorry. Believe me, Sheena, I never meant for anyone to die. But midway down the mount, smoke billowed, interrupting my thoughts. Its white columns penetrated the cerulean sky and caught my attention. After all these years, someone finally inhabited the lakeside manor. Perfect. I had a neighbor, sort of. It was a melancholy moment. I took refuge in my solitude, but that too was to be taken. There hadn't been anyone in the stone mansion for as long as I could remember. It was for sale, though I heard it was a hard sell, being landlocked with no electricity. It just sat in the middle of the woods. Personally, I thought the legend of Lake Sangre had a lot to do with it. Guess not. I wiped the tears with the back of my sleeve, content that I finally made the journey, aware that I'd never be satisfied until I learned the truth. Because my sister was dead. Mrs. Green killed herself, and wild horses don't kill people in upstate New York. I kissed the stone and stripped the thorns off a white rose I'd kept tucked in my jacket before laying it in the leaves beneath her name. The ivory petals were out of place in the solemnity. I slipped my dirk back in the sheath and tucked it in my velvet boot. I read several eroded monuments that dappled the grounds on my way out until I spotted Mrs. Green's. The odor from the new grave's disturbed earth opened a pit of despair in my stomach. I shivered, ran to the chained iron gates, and slid through. I climbed in my 95 powder blue Geo Tracker and sped down the dirt road plastered with multicolored leaves. The summer green faded to a mix of harvest yellows and browns. From the mountaintop, they looked like sponge-painted splotches of color that descended to India green in the ravine. I liked the green in spring, but it wasn't spring and I wasn't in the mood for bright and cheery. I knew autumn beckoned, and with it came the cold and dark. I didn't like being cold, and I was afraid of the dark. At the moment, I didn't like anything. My Mary Kay concealer slid across the dash. It was great for hiding the faded henna-like tattoo that stretched around the back of my neck to just under each ear. Between my platinum hair that reached the middle of my back and the collar of my chef coat, I only had to conceal the spiraling vines below my lobes. I reached for the tube and got blinded by the damn September sun and lost my grip on the wheel. I skidded around the bend of that dusty mountain pass as a band of tourists stretched across the roadway. I slammed on the brake, nearly hit one, and veered toward the shoulder. I peered out over the guardrail and thought about what I had to live for. Work. Whoopie-doo. Gail told me destiny guides us. Work fulfills us. F destiny. F work. I wasn't in the right mindset for work. I was even oblivious to the procession of people who coursed up the shoulder from Mount Moore as they passed me by. That is, until the nearly victimized elder approached my window. I just blinked. They will find you, Summer. You're the last. She mumbled something else about being careful in her death, but I wasn't one to be bitched at. So I gunned it, cut the wheel hard, and made a fishtailing right onto the oil and chip secondary that led to Mount Moore and Tiny's Diner.
I like her attitude. I love it.
Thank you.
It sounds like my internal dialogue. I'm going to have to read that. I'm so busy, but I need to find time to read that. So,
yes.
yeah.
That's chapter 1.
There you go. So that's just for the listeners and watchers who are out there. You've gotten a tiny taste. I'm going to make sure that we try and get those links up. And if you would have any final things to say, we are going to have the Creators Carnival. It's going to be in November, not October. And hopefully you will join us then.
Yes.
Awesome. So is there any final things that you would like to say to the audience?
If anyone likes fantasy, dragons, lore, and you're thinking about an October read, give it a try. I'd
There
love
you go.
for people to leave comments and even write a review. Let me know.
All right. All right. So then we will see you again soon. Thank
Yes.
you so
Thank you.
much. All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye. All right, so that has been another episode of Books Galore and Creator Core. We thank you for joining us. Please make sure to tune in again next week when we have another episode. We also have a few events coming up. We were going to have the Creator Carnival in October. We are going to change it to November instead because we have a very nice lineup of authors and content creators who are going to be joining us this time around. And so we hope that you will keep an eye out for that. Thank you and see you again soon.